This is Victor Ruiz from Getting Healthy Today. I'm talking to you tonight live, and we're talking from New Jersey. All right, just wanted to say hello to everybody tonight. And what we're going to talk about is 5 tips to goal setting. So we're going to look at that, and we're going to ask some questions to you about goals and what you might be having difficulty doing, and hopefully we can help you out tonight. All right, so let's look at the first step of goal setting. One of the problems with goals is we look at what we want to achieve. It seems like it's so far ahead of us that sometimes we get easily discouraged. So discouragement, getting easily discouraged is probably the hardest thing that happens to us. We get discouraged very easily when we're going for goals because we have to put some hard work into it, and the effort that it takes sometimes for goals, we really have to be ready to do this. So we definitely have to be driven, we have to be committed, and stay focused, laser focused on what it is that we're trying to do in order to get what we want. So the first thing, and first things first, is number one, we have to have a vision. We have to actually see ahead of us in one way of how would it be if I actually achieve what I wanted to do. So for instance, let's say you wanted to lose weight. You see yourself losing 40 or 50 pounds in the next year or more. You may lose more than 50, you may lose 70 in a year. But you look at yourself, how would you feel in that year from now if you lost 70 pounds? How would that make you feel? How would that make you look? And what would you think about that experience? What would it do and how would it impact your life at that time? What do you think would be different from then to now? Are you feeling upset about how you feel and when you're walking and carrying all that weight? Would it be greater and excellent feeling when you're not holding on to all that weight and moving around? You probably feel more comfortable with yourself. So there are some psychological, physical, emotional, social, and even spiritual changes that take place in everything that we do as a goal. So one of the things I want to tell you about is that goals can have 5 different elements too. So we have psychological, physical, social, mental, spiritual. All right. Number 2, we have to have a plan and strategy. Understand the resources that you need in order to go after what you want. So the goal that you have in mind, do you have the knowledge or do you seek out that knowledge? Do you have the resources? Do you have to spend money in order to get that knowledge that you're trying to get for that goal that you're trying to achieve? And then number 3, planning. How should you plan each day and each step of the way? What's the goals that you have to do and what's the steps? What are the small steps each day that you have to do in order to achieve your goal closer and closer each time that you wake up each day? So the first one is vision. The second one is strategy. How are you going to go about doing it? And then 3 is the planning of it. Now the other aspects of that is the having discipline. You have to have discipline in order to find a way through those tough times, because goals can be very arduous and sometimes you want to give up very easily, and that usually is a problem. If you want to go through different steps, is that it's difficult for you to say, oh my God, I have to do this today, and you really don't want to. So your motivation is number 4, and motivation is very highly important here. You have to be motivated, you have to have the readiness and the commitment towards that goal. And this is why you want to stay laser focused, because it's very easy to lose your focus and momentum. So momentum in goal setting is extremely important as well. So keep that in mind. Your determination, there's got to be momentum, there's got to be motivation. So if you're getting value from this, put a 1 in the comments section below. Hopefully you're getting value from this. And if it's something that you really ought to do, put that in the comments section below. This is something that you might have difficult time doing, is trying to figure out how to strategize your goal setting. The other thing that you want to do with goals is that you want to write down your goals. A lot of times people don't write down their goals. That's the tip I want to give you. The bonus tip is you got to write down your goals. If you don't write it on paper, it's out of sight, out of mind. So if I don't write it down, I don't see it every day, I don't know how I'm going to go after it because it's not in front of me. So you must put it in front of you. Put it in a place in your home that you can see it every day in order for you to actually do it. So that also helps you with your motivation, your planning, your strategy, your vision, all of that. If you don't remind yourself of what your vision is, what's your strategy, what's your plans, why am I motivated for this, what's the purpose of this goal, those are all things coming together that will force you to get your goal to happen. So remind yourself each day, write down your goals, and then go through the steps that I talked about. Those are really, really important. All right. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got value. Feel free to reach out to me at Getting Healthy Today on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I also have a YouTube page. And weekly, I'm on Blog Talk Radio, so blogtalkradio.com/Getting Healthy Today. And check that out. This week it's going to be at a different time though. Instead of 11:30 to 12, it's going to be 10:30 to 11, 10:30 a.m. to 11. And so check that out. All right. I hope to see you soon in the next video. Take care. Bye. Hi everybody. We're going to do a live broadcast today. We're talking about improving relationships by utilizing 4 communication styles. So let's look at the first style. The first style of communication is passive communication. The second one is passive aggressive. The third one is aggressive. And the fourth one is assertive. Now, if we look at the assertive communication style, that's the most effective communication style to use. And now the passive communication style tends to be one that causes people a lot of problems. So you might be talking to somebody right now that pretty much uses a passive style of communication. The reason why it's so difficult is you may not get an exact answer from that person. They may just give you an answer just to suffice and please you. So they may not be giving you a direct answer. And that passive approach pretty much gets them off the hook. So if they're asked to give a decisive answer, they just may give you a passive response because it's easier for them to deal with it. A lot of times if you have a passive maybe a passive personality, or if you have a passive communication style, you may have some difficulty confronting people in a healthy way because you worry about the outcome. You worry about what other people are going to think, say, and do. So therefore, you're more worried about the outcome. So something like that happens to somebody, and if you're talking to somebody like this, it's going to be difficult to deal with that. So the only thing you can do is pretty much ask for a direct answer and be consistently asking as an assertive communication style user. Now, the other one is passive aggressive, which is a little bit slightly different than the regular passive way. The passive aggressive is a combination of aggressive, which I'm going to talk to you about in a minute, and passive together. So the person pretty much is asked, "Are you mad at me?" And they say no, but they really are. So they put it off. So a lot of times the passive aggressive person puts off the real answer that they really want to give because they don't want to have any problems with you as the person. So when they get really aggressive, it comes later in places that you don't expect them to be. So they become maybe explosive as a result of that passive aggressive approach. So people like that also need that assertive approach because you're pretty much asking them for the answer and telling them that their aggression is not appropriate for that particular response. And then you have the aggressive personality or the aggressive communication styles, people just doing it by intimidation and fear, imposing fear on the other person when they communicate. So they may be cursing, yelling, screaming, and just acting and posturing in a way that looks very monstrous, puts people uneasy and forces them to behave in such a way that is more manipulative in nature. So that's the aggressive stance that people can use. So these people, you pretty much have to stand to them and be able to confront people that have that aggressive posture and pretty much direct them to it that their behavior is not acceptable to you and that's it. And you pretty much have to stand up to that person. And a lot of people may not. So unfortunately the aggressor becomes even more aggressive because now they know they can get one over on you, become a doormat. So you really need to put those interpersonal boundaries up to get that aggressor not to take over you. You need to take over that situation by assertively interjecting statements of confidence. So you have to exude a certain level of confidence in your and your delivery of the message that you have for that person, and being consistent and following through. So say what you mean and mean what you say, and then that consistency in your voice and consistency in your actions will make that person change over time, or at least it would influence that person. Then you have the assertive style, which works the most effective, and that is the most directive, the most healthiest approach you can have. If more marriages would do that effective communication style, things would probably be a little different. Many women may say that their husbands don't really talk to them or not talk to them enough. So guys, we need to communicate more often than we're doing. So we need to ask more questions and that kind of thing. So sometimes when you're talking to somebody, it's good to ask questions and gather more information so you can draw that situation from them, what they're exactly thinking at the moment in time. So, all right. Hope you enjoyed that today. I'll check you out in the next video. All right, folks, have a nice evening. Take care. Bye.